can I go on? You are my
Every mother looks forward to her little girl becoming a mother, her little girl graduating from college, getting married, building her own family, buying a house, buying that dream car, and building everything in life that she raised her up to dream for, to hope for. My next guest, her and her mother went through all those hopes and dreams and ambition, but they would become short-lived. Her mother wouldn't make it. And she sits on the podcast for the very first time to tell the unthinkable story for a young girl, a young woman in her 20s, navigating life without her mother. Welcome to another episode of Simply Winter, the podcast. Today we visit the story, Dear Mama. And welcome my guest, De'Sha. De'Sha, tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
I am 28. I have 2 children, 12. Well, she's about to be 12 and almost 5-year-old. I am 28 years old and I have no parents. I lost my father when I was 8 to violence, and I lost my mother to a brain aneurysm last year of 2023. Really much, I work 2 jobs and I'm a hard-working mother. I like to, hang out with my friends. I'm just a chill person. That's really about it. I'm nothing too much.
So how old was you when your father passed?
I was 8, so 20 years ago.
And how old was you when your mom passed?
27.
All right, so you said, so just give us a brief detail into the circumstances of each passing, starting with your dad.
Well, I just know he was at the club and he got stabbed. That's really about it, what I know about him, because I was fairly young, so I can't really tell anybody what I know. I don't know what happened. I know it's still unsolved. They know who did it, but you know how the streets is. Nobody want to snitch, nobody want to tell, so pretty much there's nothing nobody could do. My mom was like she was for everybody. Like, everybody called her when they had problems. Everybody loved her. So like, basically, we have to start checking on the strong people. We have to stop always putting stress on a strong person, because all the time they're not able to be strong. And when my brother died, I kind of feel like my mom, she wanted to be with him. And yes, she had 2 other kids, but it just it broke her heart too much. Like, her youngest son, he got killed, so she was like, I feel like she didn't try and she wanted to be with him, so she left to be with her baby.
So, as we try to tackle your mom's passing, what was the difference in that loss for you in comparison to your dad's? Because you were so young when your dad passed. Like, you probably don't remember the impact that had on you as much as you remember the impact that your mom's had on you. So what was the difference in those 2 for you?
Well, so when I was 8, I really didn't understand death and nothing about death. So it was kind of like my dad wasn't coming back, and that was it. So I really didn't understand it until I got older. This time it was like, it really hit me because I had my mama all my childhood, my adulthood, and then she just left unexpectedly. So it definitely hurt. And me and my mama, we were close. We were best friends. So it's so different for me. Like, my mama gave me unconditional love. Like, I couldn't tell I didn't have a daddy in my life. I couldn't tell that I was missing a father, because my mom made sure she showed me love. She told me I was beautiful. She made sure I was okay. She took care of 3 kids by herself. So it was just a whole different scenario. And then, like, when my mom died, it was like I was by myself. My brother was in jail. My other brother is dead. So I was by myself. So I had to handle it alone.
Was there any signs of your mother being sick?
No, it was unexpected. So, like, I was the one that had to make the call. So I didn't want to do that, but I had to, because in the state of Indiana, the next of kin, if they're not married, is their children. So my mama wasn't married, so I had to do it. So basically, I got a call from her boyfriend, said that she had passed out and she wasn't breathing. I was already on my way over, because, like, I would have weekends where I would just go from my mama's house, and me and my girls, we would have a girls' weekend with me and my mama, and we would hang out for the whole weekend. And that was the weekend, we was going over there, and I was already on the way over there. And, like, how the universe worked is so crazy. She called me like 20 minutes before everything happened. She was like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "I'm packing, Mom. I'm on my way." And then, like, not even 10, 15 minutes later, I get a call that she passed out, that she stopped breathing. So I do kind of feel like damn, I wanted to be there when that happened, but then I'm glad I wasn't, because I didn't want to traumatize my kids to see that. That's very traumatic.
Yeah.
So, once she get rushed to the hospital, they got her back. Like, she wasn't breathing for about 30 minutes. They got her back, and we sat at the hospital for an hour. They didn't let me ride in the ambulance, because they was like, her body went through traumatic, so it's too much, and me being in the ambulance, I couldn't do it. So, when I get to the hospital, it's a chaplain. When a chaplain comes, it's bad news. So they didn't say too much or whatever. And then the doctor came in. He was like, "It's bad." It was like, she had a brain aneurysm and she's not going to make it. I just got up, walked out. I didn't say, I was in shock. Because I'm like, yeah, your mom, she want to bury you. She want you to bury her. She buried her kid already, but I just never thought that, I was going to bury my mom. Now, I'm still young. I'm only 28 years old, and I still have questions. I'll be like, when it's my kids, stuff with my kids, I still be having questions, and it's like, I don't have nobody to call or nothing. I got one grandparent, and we didn't have the best relationship, but now we have worked on our relationship, and we are better. But I don't know, I just feel like I'm very alone now, and it's like, you got one mama. I feel like everybody, we got one mama. Regardless, you got one mama, and I feel like people should cherish their mother. Cherish your mother.
Does this affect your emotional well-being a lot?
Of course, absolutely. It definitely affects a lot. Sometimes I don't even want to get out the bed. I have called off of work because it's a lot on me. And, you know, then I feel like a lot of times, since now I'm the oldest and the only girl, everybody looks at me like I have to step in my mom's place, and I don't feel like I'm as strong as my mother. And it does, it be overwhelming, and it be a lot for me. And, you know, sometimes I do feel like, why is everybody like looking at me as my mom, and I'm not my mom? Like, we're two different people. But it does affect my relationships with a lot of people. I feel like a lot. It's very hard.
Has it made you like withdraw from family and friends and sort of become an introvert and want to really like stay to yourself?
I would say yeah. It make me look at life different and look at people like, cause I'm a very nice person, and I feel like a lot of times I would let people take my kindness for weakness, and now I don't go for that shit. Like, it's different. Like, you're not gonna play with me, I'm not gonna let nobody play with me.
You in defense mode?
Yes, very much defensive. So I would dead it and cut somebody off real fast. Like, I never did that before. Like, I would give people chance after chance. But now I'm like, you're not gonna play with me.
Cause I feel like you approaching life like, my mama gone and I'm all I got.
Yeah.
Like, it's survival of the fittest for you now. You know what I mean? It's you and your kids against the world. So you feel like you don't have room to allow other people in to make certain mistakes in your life. But as you grow and learn to deal with your loss, learn to accept people for who they are and meet them halfway. Don't tolerate disrespect.
Right.
You know what I mean? But meet them halfway. Allow people to love you, because the only thing you experiencing is fear.
Mm-hmm.
You scared to love again in the capacity of friendship and familyship and relationships like that,
Right.
because you scared of being hurt and left again. You don't want to experience what you experienced in losing your mother. So that's the only advice, you know, I would give you in regards to that. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the matter. Have your social interactions changed much? Like, are you still able to navigate a social life? Or not much?
I would say yeah. Like, I mean, I still like, I go out, I drink, you know, I turn up. I like to turn up. I feel like that's a coping mechanism for me, is to like have fun, because I'm a fun person, and I feel like if that gets taken away from me, then something is wrong. Like, I have a real problem. So I do like to socialize and go out sometimes, but lately I wouldn't say I've been in a funk, but I've just been like tired. I work 2 jobs, you know, my kids. So on the weekends, I be liking to be in the house and just chill and sleep. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's a lot working 2 jobs and with kids.
But is the social life a distraction and something to just keep your mind occupied in your free time? Or is it a dependent? Is it something that you're dependent on to keep you diverted from realization of, dang, my mama gone? Because it's a difference. And if it's a
like
dependent,
it's all that. I feel like I feel like I depend on like socializing and, you know, like being around people sometimes. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I want to be alone. Sometimes I might not answer my phone or text nobody back because that's just how I'm feeling. But I do feel like me depending on people like people with good vibes. Like if I'm gonna be around somebody, I'm gonna be around somebody that's gonna make me laugh. I can have a good conversation with somebody that's not negative. Like, and I know that probably sound crazy. Like I don't really like want to talk to somebody that always got drama and stuff going on. So I try to steer away from people like that. I try to like be with people that's like kind of on the same path as I am. Like I don't want no messy stuff. I don't care about what you're doing in your life. If it's positive, of course, but if it's negative, I don't want to hear it. Like I want to hear you got a new car, you going to school, you doing good in school, your kids got good grades. Like that's the stuff I want to hear. I don't want to hear nothing bad, because I feel like every time I hear bad news, it's something bad, and it's kind of a triggering effect for me, and it kind of fucks me up even more.
Yeah.
So I like to be around people that help me get through my stuff.
You feel like you grieved, or you feel like you just threw up a wall?
I feel like I'm working through it. I've been going through therapy, and I feel like at first I feel like I didn't. I feel like I just was like, all right, I gotta move on with my life. Now I feel like I'm grieving. I'm working on it. I'm trying to work on myself more, because I still feel like I have a lot to work on.
I'm like, your strength is impeccable.
Yeah.
So I knew it was one or two things. I knew either you was getting help or you hadn't started the process. So I'm proud of you.
Yes.
I'm kudos.
Yes. I go
Kudos.
once a week.
Kudos.
Once a week I go.
Kudos.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. Because it's no way in the world nobody. This is your mother. And the mother is the source of everything. Everything great about us. Everything that recertifies that we can be anything in this world that we want to be. The mother comes from our grandmother and the source of unconditional love, reassurance, self-love, self-worth. She defines who we are.
Definitely.
And for you to be standing here this solid, congratulations.
Yeah. I have to be, because
Congratulations.
if you ever met my mama, you'll be like, that's where she get that from. My mama was the most solid woman ever. She had everybody back. And
congratulations.
I hope one day I could be the woman she is.
Yeah.
And I really do. And I feel like my mama, she not here in this fucked up world. She not here. She don't have to grieve her son. She with her son. She don't have to do none of that. She is good. That's how I look at it. My mama is good. She not worrying about bills. She not worrying about nothing.
Yeah.
We have to worry about a lot. Like,
was it some significant responsibilities placed on you after her transitions, like her finances, her legal matters and stuff like that you had to just like automatically take on?
So this is so crazy. Day after my mom died, her house caught on fire. So I've been kind of dealing with that. So that kind of like, it's fucked up too. And like when I was dealing with it, the insurance company, you know, they so insensitive. Like, I know the man, he told me, we're just trying to make sure y'all not just trying to get a check.
What?
I swear, it was so insensitive. Like, I don't care what nobody say. My mama worked hard for that house. She worked hard to get us that 4-bedroom, 2-story house. She worked hard for that. And for it to get burned down a day after she died, that was crazy. And for you to tell me you just trying to make sure nothing happened so we can get a check, You think I'm gonna go from being with my family to go start a fire to get some money?
Girl, he ain't even say that, girl.
I swear he was so rude. He was so rude to me. So I was dealing with that for like a lot. It was hard too. Like I was dealing with that because you know how they supposed to be for us. Y'all tell us to get insurance, car insurance, home insurance, renter insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But when something happened, y'all want to take us through the woods because y'all don't want to pay. So I had to deal with that. And pretty much nothing really. Because my mama, she made sure she was okay. Like, she had life insurance, so I didn't have to worry about that. So, like, we were good. Yeah. That's the one thing I can say that my mom, she prepared us. And she, you know, she was good. Like, we didn't have to worry about that. You know, I made sure, like, I planned the funeral. I picked out my mama outfit. Picked out her makeup. Like, I did all that. You know, I made sure my mama went home in the best way possible. Mm-hmm. That I know she would want to. And, you know, we were good. We were good. It was hard, but I did it because I know my mama would have did the same for me.
Yeah. Good for you. Good.
Yeah.
And I know she was proud.
Yeah.
You know, I know she looked down on you very proud.
Yeah.
For doing, you know, giving her flowers that she left this side of God's glory.
Of course.
Can you describe what's your support system like now? Like family, friends, like do you have that love and foundation around you?
I had my aunt, and I'm gonna shout out to her. She's gonna watch this. I actually live with her now.
Okay.
And, you know, we kind of like, we helped each other. Like, she was going through what she was going through because she lost my, you know, my brother and my mom. And I was going through what I was going through. And we, like, came together. And, you know, we have grown close. And that's my ride or die.
Right.
Like, I love my auntie. Like, we 5 years apart, too. So. That's my auntie. That's my biggest support system. And my grandmother, me and her relationship, we have gotten better. And I have a cousin. Anytime I want to do something or I need to work, my kid loves going over there. Because I thought, like, you know, like, I would have a babysitter no more, nothing like that. I do. My kid goes over there every weekend. My kid loves going over there. And my friends, they all know who they are. I love them. You know, they have helped me. Some of them have sit and let me cry. Some of them have cried for me. And some of them, we just laugh. We just, we talk about all type of stuff and just laugh.
I think that's dope because in the grieving process, you don't need a lot of yes people. You don't need a lot of it's gonna be okay people. You need just people. People to just sit with you sometimes, to just hear you out.
Right.
In whatever mood you in, they in. You know, because we can say to you all day, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. But no, it's not going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. Like, don't tell me it's going to be okay. Or don't tell me, you know, people been through worse. This is my worst. This is my mother. This is my worst.
Right.
You know, you can't tell me that it's people out there who've been through worse or, you know, I don't know. But you get what I'm saying. Like, when somebody is grieving, it's just you can't really, one, tell nobody how to grieve.
No,
and then, two, tomorrow I might be down and I might not want to talk or laugh, but the next day I might have a little smile in me. You know what I mean? And so it's always good to have yourself surrounded by a support system that's able to fluctuate with you from day to day. And I'm happy you got that.
Yep.
I'm happy you got that for yourself. How has these changes impacted your future plans? If they have at all.
I would say this, like, I want to have more kids. I want to get married, and it's kind of like fuck, like my parents not gonna be at my wedding. Who gonna walk me down the aisle? Like, who gonna hold my other leg when I have my baby? So I do think about stuff like that, but I always say, like, if I ever have a daughter, my daughter is Kenya, period, point blank. My mama is gonna be honored. My daughter is Kenya, period, point blank. That's what my daughter name gonna be.
And trust your village.
Yeah.
If you do ever have another kid, if you do get married, trust your village. Place your auntie, place your cousin, place your friends in those pockets of your life. The people who stood through the test of time with you, place them in her place, in her absence. But always memorialize her legacy in your life. You doing right. It sounds like, I don't know what therapist you going to, but it sounds like you on the ball.
She's great.
It sounds like you on the ball. It really do. It sounds like you on the ball. What steps do you feel like have been very, very beneficial in your healing process and in your recovery?
I would say, with me, doing stuff for myself. And not always doing stuff for everybody. And not always worrying about if everybody is okay and not myself. Because I feel like that's why my mama's not here. She was worrying a lot about everybody and not herself. And she didn't take care of herself like she was supposed to. So I have to break the curse, and I have to sometimes, it's okay for me to sometimes worry about myself. I don't always have to worry about this and that. I have to worry about myself, and especially for my kids, because I feel like if you don't have a happy mama, your kids gonna feel it.
Yeah.
If you're not happy, if you don't have your mental put together, your kids is gonna feel it. So I have to get myself together, because I don't want my kids to be fucked up when they get older. I didn't have to be like, I see stuff that I did that I wish I never did that my kids are doing. So I have to stop, and I have to get myself together, because if I don't get myself together, then they're not gonna be good. So that too, and then one thing I did do, I had to put my kid in therapy too, because a lot of this stuff that was going on affected her. Not the little one, but the oldest one.
Yeah.
So I had to put her in therapy, because she didn't want to open up. You know, she always was having attitude, and it was just, I just seemed different. Because this whole situation, everything, we not only have to worry about us, but we got to worry about them kids.
Yeah.
Because them kids, they see and they hear everything, and they be affected by it too. So she still is. She's very affected by everything. Because she's used to having my grandma. I was 16 when I had her. And then it was like, now she don't have her. My mom helped me raise her half of her life. So it affected her. She tell me all the time, that's her second mother. So I had to get her help and get myself help. So that's where we are now.
How do you plan to memorialize your mom and take her legacy on with you for the rest of your natural life?
Well, I got her ashes at the house right now. So I'm always going to have her ashes. Just memories, pictures. I got videos. I got all types of stuff. Like my mama, I'm never gonna not think about my mama. Never. I'm gonna tell my kids, and it's so crazy. Like my youngest, she still tell me every once in a while. She'll tell me I miss my grandma. She'll look at her obituary, so I know my kids is gonna forever remember my mama, because she was a great grandmother, a great woman, just a great person. So I don't think I would never not memorialize my mom. Never.
It seemed like cremation is the new way.
Yes.
Like
My brother and my mom was at home with me right
cremation is the new way to keep our loved one with us. Like my brother, he was cremated. He and my necklace. Like, and I actually told my kids, like, go ahead and cremate me. Like,
cheaper
and it's a way to keep our loved ones with us. Like, it's more sentimental. Like, it seemed like cremation is the new popping way. Like, it's a way to hold on, you know, to the loved one once they have transitioned. Like, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. In what ways has the loss of your parents, both of them, influence your outlook on life as it pertains to your future aspirations and goals?
I would say I definitely, because like when my mom died, I was a little bit bigger, so I had lost like 20 pounds, so I had to eat a little healthier, a little bit more active, and then like with my dad, like I was 8, so, and you know the street life, you know, you one way or the other, you dead or you in jail. So like, I'm never gonna be in the street. I ain't never been in jail. I don't ever plan on it.
Right, so you don't have no
so I mean I don't either. So like, and I wouldn't date no man that's in the street either. I'm not going to jail for you. I'm not taking no charge for you. That's not happening.
Yeah.
So I can't. I just wanna. I don't want my kids to bury me at 27. Well, I'm not 27 because my dad was 27. So I'm actually a year older than my dad when my dad died. My dad was 27 and my mom was 47. So I don't want my kids to bury me at 47. That's just my goal. I don't want to be buried. I want my kids. I want to see my grandkids. I want to see my kids get
That was
married.
my next question. What's some of your future goals? What's some of your future goals?
I want to go back to school. Hopefully I can get married. I can have me. I'll say 1 kid. I want to do 2. I already got 2. I'll have another kid and just to watch my kids grow up. That's what I want to see. Protect my kids and watch them grow up. Like I said, I want grandkids and my kids get married. Hopefully I can see the grandkids grow up. Like that's my ultimate goal. Travel. Pretty much.
Did you gain any new perspectives or insights from this experience?
Of course. Life is short. And I feel like a lot of times too, like, I don't give a fuck about a lot. I'm just like, not about life, but like, I don't care if nobody talk about me. I don't care what nobody gotta say. Like, I feel like that's little shit. It's so much bigger shit in the world. Like, I don't care. And I'm not gonna let that ruin my mood. I'm not gonna let that ruin my day. Like, I don't care. And that's how I look at it. Like, I feel like a lot of times I be seeing stuff on the internet. People, why y'all be mad at people that don't pay your bills, that don't write your check? Why? Fuck them. So that's how I live my life. Like, you ain't paying my bills. Fuck you. And I'm not gonna let you make me mad or get me out my body. I'm not.
What advice would you give someone who might be experiencing a similar situation as yours?
I would say pray, definitely. And, you know, like people say everything gonna be alright. I say, I wouldn't say don't listen to nobody, but people don't know, they not in your shoes, so they can't tell you to everything gonna be alright because you don't know. But eventually, it might take years, but everything is gonna be okay. And you are gonna have to move on. and you never gonna forget that person. But I'm definitely gonna say pray, and it's gonna be a long journey. I'm not gonna say you're gonna be okay right away, because I still have days. I done went to the club one day, boo-hoo crying. I don't know. It's just like
in the club.
Yes, like music, like you see
That's what
something.
That's what
music,
they say.
Anything,
Yeah.
you'll just break down.
Yeah.
Music.
It could be a song. It could be a smell. It could be a food. It could be
like
a sound. Anything can remind you of the person.
My mama, she used to drink Patron and pineapple juice. I was drinking Patron one day, started crying. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just, that's just what happened. Like, it's a long journey to come. And I still got a lot to work. I did a lot of work. I still got a lot of work to do.
But that's good, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that's good, you know, that it's a process and that you're journeying through the process and that you still got work to do.
Yeah.
So I built my podcast on 3 different elements: faith, foundation, and family. What order do those 3 words take precedence in your life?
I'm going to say family number 1. Because that's my kids is my number 1. That's my family. That's the family I created. My kids is my number 1. And I'm going to say faith, because you have to have faith. Like, yeah, I might not go to church every Sunday, and, you know, I feel like that's another thing I want to work on, because I do want to find me a church home to go to one day. But
you can be my guest.
You got to tell me what church. I do want to go to church.
Guest.
I do want to go to church, and, you know, I just feel like I'm just not ready, because I don't want to be at church every Sunday boo-hoo crying. I don't want to be. I want to be
Girl,
praising.
we all be praising boo-hoo crying every Sunday.
I want to be praising. I want to stand up. I want to pray. That's what I want to do.
You will feel right in that new unity.
Yeah.
You will feel right in.
And I just feel like foundation, like, you have to have a great foundation, I feel like, to survive in life.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have that yet, but eventually, yes, I will. That's why I'm going to put it last, because I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
I'm still working. I still have a lot to work on with that. And I do, like, I am almost 30, but then I'm like, I'm still young, you know.
Yeah. And it'll come with time. It'll come with wisdom. It'll come with growth and maturity. Like I said, you're so young.
Yeah.
And to hear you go through something like that, when Nick would tell me, I'm like, oh, no. And then I went on your Facebook page and I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Because you and your mama remind me so much of me and my kids. Yes, like, they my best friends. They my best friends. We basically grew up together. They my everything. And I can't speak for your mama because we ain't had no personal relationship. But if I had transitioned and your mother was sitting here interviewing one of mine, I know I would want her to say that I'm proud of you. She's proud of you. The way you have handled the situation, the way you have endured, and the way you have overcome. And I know that God has his hands on you, helping you navigate this situation. So at the end of my podcast, I like to have my guests pick 5 words out this little jar of words. It's just like a little fun exercise. And you pick these 5 words out, and I'm going to ask you questions based on the 5 words that you pick. First word. You can go. It's not no specific order.
Indoor.
And so what do you feel like was the most challenging thing you had to endure?
Shit. I mean, I would say having to pull the plug on my mama. That was the most challenging thing ever. I'm like, I got to do it. My auntie was like, yes. I'm like, I didn't want to do it, but I had to. Yeah, I had to do it by myself. And I got a little backlash from it too. But, you know, that's a different story. But, yeah, that was the most thing I had endured. It was hard.
Wow. What's your next word?
Peace.
What gives you peace?
My kids.
Mm-hmm.
My kids give me peace. Then my babies, my kids.
I know.
They know they mama love them.
I know. Your kids always seem to be your happy place. So
Yes,
with whatever
I love
you're
my
going
kids.
through in life, you can look in the eyes of your kids and you always can find that sense of peace. Like, I know, as long as I got them, I know God got me. So let me just press through this. You know what I mean?
And my kids, they love me, and I love them, and I know they love me. Them spoiled brats.
What's your next word?
Today.
What do you see today that you didn't see when you was going through everything you was going through with your mom?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say, like, I honestly, I didn't see myself being here. I didn't see myself getting back to myself. I didn't see
Overcoming.
it. Yeah, I see myself. I didn't see this, but I'm proud that I am getting myself together and I'm moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, and when people say move forward, I don't want nobody to ever think I'm gonna forget my mama. I'm never gonna forget my mama.
You never
but
can.
I have to move on
Yeah.
with my life, and I have to live for her and live for myself.
And it's your right. Like, you shouldn't ever feel guilty. And she wouldn't want you to for continuing to live life. But as long as you continuing to live life and having that loving space in your heart for her as you do so,
right?
You got your mom blessing.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't want you to lay down and die because she transitioned from this earthly body into her spiritual peace. She wouldn't want you to do that. She just wouldn't want you to do that. What's your next word?
Whole.
What makes you whole? What makes you feel whole today after going through all that?
I would say to be able to work, take care of my kids. We got a roof over our head. We got food. Mm-hmm. We're blessed. Yeah. So that makes me whole.
That made my heart melt. We blessed.
Yeah,
that made my heart melt.
We are blessed.
And what's your last and final word?
Pleasure.
What gives you pleasure?
I feel like this is what a woman has to. I feel like a woman has to look good. So me getting my hair done, my nails, my toes, getting my waxes, buying myself clothes, just looking good. That's a pleasure for me.
Self-care.
That's what I like. Self-care. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's my pleasure. That's
always
what I like.
Do that for yourself.
Always. I have to. Like, that's one thing. Like, I'm always gonna have my nails done. I'm always gonna do something in my hair. I'm always gonna have something nice done. That's just me.
Yeah, I always do that for yourself.
And my kids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure they got it together. My daughter actually at home getting her done now. But yes, I'm always gonna make sure I look good. And I say that because if you don't love yourself, nobody gonna love you.
You is wise for your
yes.
age. You is so wise for your age. Well, I thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna give you a hug.
I thank you. I thank you so much. I thank you for taking the interview. I thank you for sharing this hour with me. I thank you for being transparent and sharing your truth with my audience. I thank you all for tuning in today for another episode of Simply Winter the podcast. Stay tuned next week. I don't know who's next week. I just know the schedule is packed. The season is complete. All 20 episodes are scheduled, and we will close the year January 2025 with season 1 being completely booked. Stay tuned to Simply Winter the podcast. I'm Winter, and I'm out.
I don't even know what's about to happen next, but I'm already thanking God for what he's about to do. I can feel his hands around me, and I can feel him telling me just to my course stay true.